Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiryet Shravtam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shamana Kirtanaha Hridayantasto Hya Bhadrani Vidunoti Suhasatam Nashtaprayasha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavti Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Gauratai ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. So today we will be covering Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, chapter 16, verse 18. So if you have a phone, you can refer to that. Didn't get the chance to set up the TV. Ucheshavasturanganam Dhatu namasmi kanchanam Yamaha samyamatam chaham Sarpanamasmi vasukihi Ucheshavasturanganam Dhatu namasmi kanchanam Yamaha samyamatam chaham Sarpanamasmi vasukihi Ucheshavasturanganam Dhatu namasmi kanchanam Yamaha samyamatam chaham Sarpanamasmi vasukihi. Ucheshavaha, the horse Ucheshava. Turanganam, among horses. Dhatunam, among metals. Asmi, I am. Kanchanam, gold. Yamaha, Yamraj. Samyamatam, among those who punish and suppress. Cha, also. Aham, I. Sarpanam, among serpents. Asmi, am. Vasukihi, Vasuki. Translation and purpose by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Among horses, I am Ucheshava, and among gold, I am gold among metals. I am Yamraj among those who suppress and punish, and among serpents, I am Vasuki. Translation for text 19 onwards. O sinless Uddhava, among the best of serpents, I am Anantadev, and among those animals with sharp horns and teeth, I am the lion. Among the social orders, I am the fourth, or the renounced order of life, and among the occupational divisions, I am the first, the Brahmanas. 20th. Among sacred and flowing things, I am the holy Ganges, and among sacred bodies of water, I am the ocean. Among weapons, I am the bow, and of the wielders of weapons, I am Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva used his bow to completely cover the arrows, the 3 demonic cities built by Mayadana. Text 21. Among residences, I am Mount Sumeru, and of impervious places, I am Himalayas. Among trees, I am the holy fig tree, and among plants, I am those that bear grains. Purport. Aushadhinam here indicates those plants that fructify once and then die. Among them, those that give grains which sustain human life represent Krishna. Without grains, it is not possible to produce milk products, nor can one properly perform Vedic fire sacrifices without offerings of grains. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatadham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, here, Lord is further identifying his opulences, right? Also referred at times as vibhuti or potencies. And continuing from yesterday, so just want to capture from yesterday as well, because that's yesterday we covered how Lord started responding, to the questions posed by Uddhava. And does anyone remember the 3 questions posed by Uddhava? Sure. Yes, that was the 3rd question. That could you please describe, all of your potencies in which you appear in this material world as well as beyond. But prior to that, he had actually asked, because previous chapter was about mystic perfections. So, and Lord Krishna very clearly identified to Uddhava that don't seek mystic perfections because devotees attain the ultimate goal. So his curiosity is, what is the destination? What do devotees achieve, when engaged in devotional service? And then just following that, he understood, sometimes when you ask a question, you immediately realize the answer. Or maybe a follow-up question. And that's where Uddhava immediately asks, in what form do your devotees see you? So in what form do you appear in this, manifestation of yours in the material universes and so forth? And then, now having asked that, he suddenly realizes that energy and energetic cannot be separated, right? So similarly, the potent and potencies are simultaneous, one and different. Achintya bheda bheda tattva. So he immediately asks, that how do you appear in this world? Is follow-up. And that's where Lord Krishna immediately remembers that Arjuna had asked me similar question. And when Arjuna had asked, Arjuna actually had followed up with further statements when he asked that question in chapter 10. And that's right after Chaturshloki Gita, where Lord actually identifies to Arjuna that from knowledge, one gets to devotional service, bhakti, yoga, and then from devotional service, one gets to knowledge. So 10.8 talks about when one is in proper knowledge, he engages in devotional service, that I am all in all, aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. While 9, 10, 11 focuses on bringing back from devotional service, one gets knowledge. Now, after that, Arjuna has said that, yes, I understand that you are param brahma param dhama pavitram paramam bhavam, right? You are, beyond Brahman. And it has been verified, it has been attested by various great personalities like Vyasdev, Devala, Devashi Narad, and so forth. And I want to know about your potencies. So Arjuna further says, so that I can remember you. That is rejoicing. When devotees can see anything that connects them to Krishna, they feel transcendental bliss. So that is where it was, Arjuna left. And when Lord Krishna remembered that, he is telling Uddhava, the first thing he tells is that I am the ultimate goal of those who seek progress. And then that question was raised yesterday. People who are seeking progress, they're actually seeking success in life, right? And there are different levels of people seeking success in life. And Srila Prabhupada has explained at numerous occasions how the different stages, even here in the material world, which is a perverted reflection of the different stages in spiritual world, how we sometimes perceive things. And we also discuss how success follows and how materialistic people, they think, how a materialistic person thinks, the success, he thinks of success, that I will get success, then I'll be happy. And when I'll be happy, I'll be fully satisfied. I'll have that peace of mind. I can just relax. And that is a perverted reflection, because what does Lord Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? He tells Arjuna, how can someone be happy without being peaceful, right? How can there be happiness without peace? And he gives the formula of peace. So we discussed that yesterday. I'm going to summarize what we covered yesterday so that we can connect today. And then, once someone is peaceful, then he has to reach the Brahmabhuta state. We also covered, 18 chapter 51 through 53, where how one gets to the Brahmabhuta state. And at Brahmabhuta state, when one is there, thus at Brahmabhuta state, one is Prasannatma. That is the 54th verse. Brahmabhuta Prasannatma na shvachiti na kankshati. Now, when someone is happy, our body, means again, this is a scientific angle, our body produces so many chemicals, right? I'm forgetting there's endomorphin or something. Yeah. So that when it's released, our body feels that happiness, right? We get that sense of happiness. But that same chemical is also responsible for opening all the gates in our brain, right? And all of a sudden, all our centers are working. Guess what? Suddenly our capabilities have gone to a different level, which means our, seeking success becomes easier. We can easily get success in whatever endeavor we focus on. So even from a Karmi's perspective, is again their concept of first I have to be successful, then I will become happy, and then I'll get peace is completely perverted. It's actually the reverse. You see, from the spiritual angle, first you have to be peaceful, then you become, come to the transcendental platform, and then you become happy, prasannatma. And when you are happy, then you can continue to advance very nicely in your devotional service. Now when materialist is engaged, they are looking at the bodily level, right? The sense gratification. So that's bodily consumption of life, seeking just sense gratification. And there is not much there because they are constantly frustrated. Because let's look at the cycle materialists have. First they are seeking success, but the interesting thing is they don't know that this is a perverted reflection, so it's actually a trap for them. As soon as somebody says, I will become manager in my company, as soon as they become manager, the target of success suddenly moves. It goes to like a senior manager or a director position, right? So now they are chasing after that particular target of, because it's a mirage, right? Mirage in a desert. When a deer runs after the mirage, does it get the water? Mirage is a mirage. So they try to become director. As soon as they become director, they say, wait a minute, my target is suddenly moved to VP. And they try to become VP. But as soon as they become VP, what happens? Their target moves forward. I want to become the CEO. And as soon as they become the CEO, this further target is like, I want to become the best of the CEOs. Right? I want to acquire all of the companies. And so forth. So our target constantly moves in material cycle. So don't get bewildered by that. That's a mirage. Be very clear that we have to first attain peace. And then, and that symptom of peace is, just like all the rivers, they are flowing into the ocean. We covered that verse as well yesterday. And the person who is peaceful, the person who does not get disturbed by this incessant flow of desires, just like the rivers are flowing to the ocean, only that person can attain peace. So that's like a symptom as well. So who can attain peace is someone who sees so many desires are coming, but then he's rejecting those desires. He's saying, does it help me in, spiritual advancement? Does it get me into spiritual and so forth? Now, even the spiritual advancement is at 3 levels. Jiva Prabhu very nicely explained that. Of course, in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, we do cover Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yaj jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan iti shabdati. So the learned transcendentalists realize absolute truth in 3 forms. And what are those forms? Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan. And there is a very nice analogy that describes it. So, analogy is that of a train. Some people, they had not seen a train in a village. Suddenly there was a new train station built and they all went to see the train. And it was pitch dark at night. And suddenly they hear some sound, right? And with the sound they see from a distance there is a light. And the light is suddenly growing bigger and bigger and stronger. They say, oh, that's a train, and they leave. That's like Brahman realization. There's the transcendental sound, pranava, Swara is heard in that sound and the light. That's Brahman realization. That's like, okay, that's the light, eternal light. Sat is the feature, eternity. Then some people who were there, they continued to see, what is this? And they suddenly saw that behind the light there's a big body, like a snake-like body that's following it. And it's being dragged by that light. They say, oh, okay. That is train. And they leave with that. That's Paramatma, Sat Chit. So, eternal as well as full of knowledge. Chit is full of knowledge. Now, they leave, but then there are some more people, more curious, more daring souls still waiting there at the station. And what they see is when the train comes, it stops at the station. And they say, wait a minute, there are different cars attached to this train. That body was this. And they can walk inside. There's a door. They can open the door. They can go inside. They see their seats, their fans, the different facilities, and they can, interact there. They can utilize this particular train. That's Bhagwan, Satchidanand. So that's full utilization is recognized. That how should I, be engaged with this particular object called train? So I can use it to go from one place to another. Do you think the first two categories can go from one place to another? Why? It's the same train. Because they haven't had the chance to access it, right? They have no access. So similarly, when we recognize Satchidananda, the person, Lord Shri Krishna, then we know, okay, we can engage ourselves with him. And there is a process, right? And the process is, how do you engage? First you have to ask for that engagement. And that process is very simply given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So just by chanting, which is our request, we also cover every time, to Mother Hara and to Lord Krishna and Rama, right? Those are the names for Lord. That please engage us in your service. And when you ask for, with purity, with pure consciousness, Lord focuses. Now sometimes this is very interesting. People get bewildered when they say pure consciousness. They say, oh, so I cannot chant if I'm, distracted? No, means when you practice, you come to that level. Why? Because this is transcendental sound, right? It lifts us from our current plane. There are three modes of material nature. We are generally engaged in this material world. Mode of ignorance, and above that is mode of passion, and above that is mode of goodness. And then above that is the transcendental platform. So this is transcendental sound. So when you chant, slowly our consciousness is lifted to that consciousness at the transcendental platform. And so that's why when you hear Kirtan, right, it gets you onto a different plane altogether. It gets you into the transcendental realm. You are no more in the clutches of Maya. And funny thing is, sometimes we think it's clutches of Maya. Who's clutching? We are clutching. Maya doesn't have any power to clutch to us. We are the ones who are clutching to Maya because these senses are given by Maya. And our desire to sense gratification is what causing us to be attached to it. So, very interesting aspects. Now, it's very interesting that sometimes when people are seeking this, and Lord Krishna says that I am the absolute object of those who seek progress. I'm the ultimate object, that's the exact words. Then it's very clear that we have to seek Krishna, not just get stuck in the first two levels. not at the Brahman level or Paramatma level. We have to seek the ultimate truth. Absolute truth, yes. 3 forms, yes. But then, can we take full advantage? Can we engage with those? No. We can engage with Lord Shri Krishna. And that's why Srila Prabhupada used to describe that, even, people who are seeking Brahman, they finally fall down because of our nature. Our nature is to serve. We want engagement, right? Yesterday we covered, most of you were not there, so I'll cover an interesting story short story we covered yesterday. There's a man, he dies, and he goes to a place. He sees himself dressed in white. Everything is white, like clouds floating around, beautiful. And a person in white dress, clothes, he comes and says, "Sir, you can have anything you want. You are here. Anything you want, you will be provided." It's like, okay. So his desires to enjoy, he's saying, "Give me this, give me that." And he's getting all kind of facilities. And after some time he realizes, there's a dissatisfaction, there's a void, because our very nature is to serve. So he feels like, what can I do? Can I do any activity? He calls the attendant. He says, "Can I do any activity here? What can I do?" The attendant says, "Sorry, sir. You cannot do anything. You can only get." He says, "Well, what's the use of such a place? Even the hell would have been better." Then the attendant responds, "So where do you think you are?" Right? Because there is no engagement, there is no true bliss, there is no, he doesn't have that opportunity to engage with the Supreme Lord. Now even the engagement is on different levels, right? We talked about the 3 levels of absolute truth. But then, Srila Prabhupada very nicely explains, people who are seeking sense gratification, they're at the level of bodily conception of life. And I'm still focusing on the very first phrase of what his previous response was on stanza 7, verse 7. It's basically, when people are seeking progress, they are seeking sense gratification, that's karmi, right? We call them karmi, people who are engaged in the bodily conception of life. Above that is a mental level, where they realize, wait a minute, I'm doing this, but it's constantly frustrating. This formula of success leading to happiness, to peace, is not the right formula. So what they do, they start seeking what is the right formula. And they say, okay, I reject this, I reject that, I reject that. So they are seeking different levels. And even that's where the search for absolute truth begins. And one who is engaged in Hatha Yoga is trying to control their senses, especially the mind, right? But is it easy to control that? No. Then they realize, okay, there is a higher level, which is Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is described where people are doing Vedanta, study of Vedantas, the scriptures, and trying to get their intelligence to that level. So they are trying to control their intelligence. Shri Shri Gauranatai ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Kori Vaishnava ki jai. So again, now after the intelligence, which is Jnana Yoga, we have one wants to just merge into Brahman. We already talked about. That's not going to be the solution as well. Then come to Bhakti Yoga. Higher than that is Bhakti Yoga. Now all these yogic processes, except for Bhakti Yoga, are dependent. While Bhakti Yoga is the only one that is independent of any other yogic process. And all these processes are dependent on Bhakti Yoga, where the true engagement begins. And when Lord, he just starts describing, I am, he is basically saying, for the controllers, so people who try to control, living entities, they are constantly frustrated because in time, they lose control. Right? You get it? And so it was very interesting that as how Lord is describing, and he's saying, I'm the virtue of the pious. So that is a reflection that Lord is all good. Every time we interact with him, It's all good. So he's saying, I'm the virtue in the pious. And he further describes as how, in verse 11 onward, now this Lord is describing, I am, and then he's identifying one of the opulence. Now it's very important before we understand, because he also said in the verse we covered today, I am gold. That doesn't mean I'm gold among metals. That doesn't mean you put gold in front and start worshipping it, right? You have to understand with the right context. So that's also, there is a word given in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10 is called Vibhuti Yoga. So again, that's Krishna's opulence of the Absolute. What does it mean is, Bhuti is manifestation, and V is added to add spatial. So what is the spatial manifestation that represents Lord? So it is one among many and one above many. So there are two concepts. So of the many manifestations, one is a spatial one that Lord is identifying. And by remembering this, you can connect to Krishna, who is one above many. Got it? Yeah. So when Lord is identifying different personalities and different manifestations, we have to look from that particular perspective. So he talked about, let me give you another example as well. So sometimes, let's think of some of the amazing things that you have seen in material manifestation. Empire State Building, or sunrise, sunset. Ocean, pretty big, right? What else have you seen that is amazingly, that surprised you? Wow, I can't believe somebody built this. Moon and stars. Yeah, how they're floating and how they're glowing. What else? I understand most of the people haven't seen anything amazing yet. Lord appears in his Archa Vigraha form. So beautiful, right? The deities of the Lord are not different from him. With the Pran Pratishtha, he has appeared to our mundane eyes. Isn't that amazing? We don't have capability to see him. So he says, okay, for your sake, I will appear so you can see me. And he appears so beautiful. When you see mundane beauty, it causes disturbance in your heart. But when you see the Lord, it's so pleasing to the heart. It actually satisfies and calms you down. Gets you to that level of peace and suddenly to that mood of happiness, and then further elevates you to the transcendental bliss. It gets to the core of your heart. Another thing, anything else? He appears in his, holy name. Holy name of Lord Krishna is not different from him. So it's the same, one and the same. So when we are covering the opulence of the Absolute, or the Lord's opulences, let's remember that when we see something like a huge building, when you sometimes go and see, wow, amazing building, then you want to know who's the creator, right? So if you see the creator, if you come to know this person is the creator, you have an appreciation for that person. And every time you see that person, you think of the objects related to that person, right? When you meet your friend, you think of your previous interactions with that friend, and what all other friends are, linked with this friend, and all the things that are associated with this friend. And when you see something that belongs to him, say for example, you go to a shopping complex, and suddenly you see his car, you see the nameplate, you recognize this is his car, right? So immediately just looking at the car, what are you thinking? You think of your friend, right? And that he is here. And that you need to interact with him or something like that. You start progressing and making plans. What's next? You start looking for him. So when Lord is identifying his opulences that are manifesting and have been described either in scriptures or are directly visible to our eyes, then we can immediately remember Lord. And that is the connection. That's why it's called yoga. Connecting to Krishna. That's yoga. Now we, because of time, did not get the chance to delve into some of those aspects yesterday, so I'm going to cover them quickly. You get the advantage, Here Lord is saying in verse 11, I am the total material creation. So of all the creations, amazing part is this material universes, right? Even the stars and moon surprises, what to talk about, so many innumerable universes. So he's saying, among subtle things, I am the spirit soul. Now spirit soul is subtler than even the subtle elements in this material universe, like mind, intelligence, and false ego. So he's saying even subtler than them. And of all things that are difficult to conquer, I am the mind. So he's identifying. Mind is very difficult to conquer. We have realized that. And then, instead of taking to Hatha Yoga to try to control your senses, control the mind, we follow a simple process, chanting of the holy name. And that is recommended for this age. And actually in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, he says, of all the sacrifices, I am chanting of the holy name. So that itself describes to us that, of all the sacrifices, it is the topmost sacrifice. Is it very difficult? It's not very difficult, right? But then why don't people easily take to it? That's surprising, right? Means they go to Hatha Yoga, they go to Jnana Yoga. Sometimes people even confuse when we do the scripture reading here. They are confused, oh, this is Jnana Yoga. Wait a minute, how could it be Jnana Yoga? This is perfectly Bhakti Yoga. Why? Because we are not talking about Brahman. We are talking about Lord Krishna. What did Lord Krishna say? What did his devotee do? We are discussing about the pastimes of Lord Krishna himself in the 10th canto and 11th canto. And then, what did his devotees do? That's the rest of the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And all the symptoms of different ages and so forth. So we are directly talking and associating with Lord Krishna, which is Bhakti Yoga. So there is a difference. And now, as he is saying, I am the mind, so we are not engaged in Hatha Yoga, because that would be trying to seek Paramatma feature. And we are not into that. We are directly seeking the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. Then he says, among the Vedas, I am the original teacher, Lord Brahma. So in the scriptures, it is also identified that Lord Brahma, he is referred to sometimes as Vidhata, right? And also Vedas personified. He is also referred to as Vedas personified. Vidhata means the one who created the secondary manifestation, this material universe, further expanded in it. And then, of all the Vedas, I'm the Vedas personified, who's Lord Brahma. So when you look at Lord Brahma, wow, he's so amazing. He did the whole secondary creation. Then you immediately think of Krishna. How did he get that power? From Lord Shri Krishna. And of all the mantras, I am the 3-letter Omkara, which is at the Brahman level as well. And the first letter A, because that's the beginning of sound. And among the sacred meters, the Gayatri mantra. So it's the best of all the meters. So he's saying, I am Gayatri mantra. Among simply Brahmins, I am Bhrigu Muni. So of the Saptarishis. So among the demigods, Brihaspati is there, who is the spiritual master who performs ritualistic ceremonies, and you have to understand the rishis. Devarishis, among the Devarishis, Saptarishis are the prime, the 7 sages. And among those sages, Bhrigu Muni is the most powerful one. So that's why he's saying, I'm the best among those as well. And I'm Manu among saintly kings. Of all the kings who have to carry out administration in this material universe, I'm Manu. Manu gave Manu Samhita. So, he's actually identifying. And among all the saints and demigods, I am Devashi Narad. So there are many saints who are, many demigods who are saints, but I am Devashi Narad. So he's identifying that. Now I'm coming to, of the demonic sons of deities known to me be the Prahlad Maharaj, because he is the best of all the sons of deities. The sons of deities are called Daityas. And then, among the stars and herbs, I am their Lord Chandra. So it's directly referring to, and now it's very important, we covered it yesterday. Sometimes people say, oh, stars, but moon only reflects sun's light. The reference here has to be looked from the perspective as what is manifesting to our eyes. Right? There is a Vedic philosophy, and then there is the modern scientific astronomy. So here, at night, when we go out, which one is the brightest? And Chanakya Muni said, one moon itself can light during the night, not the millions of stars. So which one is the prime object lighting in the sky at night? Moon. So that's why moon is compared with the stars. Among the stars, which is with respect to night, I am the moon. And among the herbs, where do herbs, what's the source of the essence in herbs? They have the potency to cure so many diseases, to rejuvenate life. That potency comes because of the moon. The moonlight causes that. The life in the plants is caused by sun, and the essence in the plants and the trees and the herbs is caused by moon. And then, among the Rakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera. So Yakshas and Rakshasas, they're pretty demonic in nature as well. But of them, I'm the good one. Right? Like as the sons of Diti, I'm the good one, Prahlad Maharaj. So similarly, I'm Kuvera, the treasurer of the demigods. And I'm Airavat among lordly elephants. Now Airavat appeared during the Samudra Manthan, the churning of the ocean. And it is a giant white elephant with 4 tusks. Right? So it's prime. Amazing. People get attracted looking at Airavat. It's also a carrier of Indra. Indra got Airavat from the churning of the ocean. So among the aquatics, I am Varuna. He's the god of sea. So the demigod of sea is the lord of the seas. And among all things that heat and illuminate, I am sun. So of all the things that are illuminating, sun is the most effective one, right? And all the things that we see in this material world are actually getting their power from sun. And among human beings, I am the king. So king represents Krishna. So as soon as we see king, it's pretty majestic, right? We should immediately remember Krishna. So as Uddhava is hearing all this, he's able to relate. And this is for our benefit. He's asking this question. And Lord Krishna is providing these responses for our benefit. So when we see these, anything that's amazing in this world, we should immediately understand who's the creator, where are they getting their power from, who is the source, the ultimate source. And then he further continues, today that we covered, that among horses I'm Uchchaishrava. Uchchaishrava is also a horse that was produced during the churning of ocean. So I'm that one, because that's also a prime. And I'm gold among metals. And this is where I was trying to identify. Don't pick up gold and start worshipping. This is Krishna. He says here, no, it's actually to remind us that who's the source of all this gold, all this glittering object that appears here. Right? And I'm Yamaraj among those who suppress and punish. So, of all the people who establish the rules and punish the wrongdoers, I'm Yamaraj because he's pretty significant. Karmis, when life ends and they're presented, they are scared because they're like, oh, he's going to account everything. Because he has a secretary whose name is Chitragupta. You understand? Gupta means secret, hidden. And Chitra means taking picture, right? Picture is Chitra. So one who has pictures of all your hidden secrets. He's a pretty good account. Nothing is hidden. Everything is known. And he knows everything. So, that's where he's going to punish based on such a strong support he has from his secretary. And among the serpents, I'm Vasuki. So Vasuki is the main, the prime serpent. Among the best of snakes, I'm Anantadev. Now it is very nicely that Anantadev, he himself says, I have thousands of mouths, but I cannot glorify the Lord sufficiently. I cannot even describe his potencies, because he has unlimited potencies. Even Lord himself says, I cannot list, means it's unlimited. And sometimes yogis, they say that, okay, we will do all this tapasya, austerity, sacrifices, we'll try to learn. But the moment they think that they have understood, he expands himself. Now, that's like, you have a moving target. How do you catch a moving target? And it's the fastest target that there is. So there is no chance of catching up. And among the animals with sharp horns and teeth, I am the lion. So, lion is the king of the jungle. That's how it's referred. So I'm the best. And among the social orders, I'm the fourth. Now, we talked about the classes, the four social classes, the four, spiritual classes. So it's sannyasa ashram, because there's only one service that you have to continue doing in sannyasa ashram. Meditating and realizing the absolute truth. So that's your main activity, and that's the main focus. And among the occupational divisions, I'm the first, the brahmanas. So again, that is identifying that brahmanas are in the mode of goodness. So if you are on, you have to go to the 50th floor in a building, that's the topmost floor. How is it easier? If you're on the ground floor, or if you're on the 10th floor, or you're on the 40th floor? Which one is easier? 50th floor. And the only access is through stairs. 40th, right? Yes. Because in mode of goodness, the focus is on cleanliness, internal and external. And when you are trying to keep yourself clean, cleanliness is next to godliness. Right? It's right there. It's easier. But then, Lord Chaitanya is very merciful. Because he says, Amanina manina kirtaniya sadahari. So for all the three modes of material nature, means people may be in any of those modes or combination of those modes. It's said that, we are never exactly in one mode. Based on time and place and circumstances, we are actually in mix of these modes. Most of the time, based on our, state, our social order, we may be in a better versus less. But if you just focus on this, amanina manadina, do not expect any respect, but give respects to all living entities. Now this is very interesting. Give respects to all living entities means don't even differentiate between devotees and non-devotees. Because in reality, people who know that they are devotees of the Lord, and people who have forgotten that they are devotees of the Lord, they are non-devotees, while the devotees are the ones who know. But in reality, everyone is dear to Lord Krishna. And then Kirtaniya Sadari, always chant the glories of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Kori Vaishnavind ki jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Gokula Vrinda Vipitesh Namo Shashileke Lalita Shaki Gun Ramita Vishate Shabanudare Nava Shashileke Lalita Shaki Gun Ramita Vishate Rishabhanudare Nava Shashileke Lalita Shaki Gun Ramita Vishate Rishabhanudare Gokula Dharune Mandala Mahite Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaite Gokula Dharune Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaite Gokula Dharune Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaite Gokula Dharune Mandala Mahite Karunam Kurumai Karunambarite Sanaka Sanatan Vanita Charite Karuna Kurumai Karunabarite Sanaka Sanatan Vanita Charite Karunam Kurumai Karunabarite Sanaka Sanatan Vanita Charite Karuna Kurumai Karunabarite Sanaka Sanatan Vanita Charite Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaite Gokula Dharune Mandala Mahite Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaite Gokula Dharune Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaite Gokula Dharune Mandala Mahite Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaite Gokula Dharune Mandala Mahite Damodara Radhe Varanaveshe Hari Niskuta Vrinda Vipileshe Damodara Radhe Varanaveshe Hari Niskuta Vrinda Vipileshe Vishabhanudari Navashashileke Lalita Shaki Guna Ramita Vishate Vishabhanudari Navashashileke Lalita Shaki Guna Ramita Vishate Karunam Kurumai Karunabarite Sanaka Sanatan Vanita Charite Karuna Kurumai Karunabarite Sanaka Sanatan Vanita Charite Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaite Gokula Dharune Mandala Mahite Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaite Gokula Dharune Mandala Mahite Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaite Gokula Dharune Mandala